If ever there was an opportunity to cross over drama between the secret lives of Mormon wives and Eurovision Song Contest debauchery, then boy, do we have an episode for you this week, and it all has to do with choking. Welcome to another week of the Eurovision Kiki podcast. I'm Stephen.
I'm Doug.
And this week, we're taking a deeper dive into some of the national song contests that we didn't have an opportunity to cover, but we're going to cover this week. And we have 7 countries that we're going to take a little bit more of a focus on, and that includes Romania, Greece, Moldova, San Marino, Bulgaria, Italy, and Portugal. So buckle up, everybody, and get ready for this week's deep dive. Doug, where do we want to start?
Well, let's go ahead and just start with Romania, since there has been already a little bit of a controversy here, and it all comes down to one's interpretation of the song. But before we get there, let's figure out how we got this song in the first place. We didn't follow Romania's actual song contest, but their selection was entirely based on a jury. So while it was televised, the public had no say in this whatsoever. At the end of the contest, the winner was Alexandra Capitanescu. Sure, we'll go with it. With her song Choke Me. She was the hands-down winner with 82 points, and the next closest had 69 points. Hearing the other songs, I do think Romania probably chose the best one. Did you have a chance to listen to some of the other songs?
I listened to some of the other songs. There was definitely a overall rock theme coming out of Romania, as well as some, Spanish and Latin type of genre themes that were going on there. My heart will always go toward WRS just as like a returning Romanian artist, and I enjoyed his song Yamame back in 2022. And so he's a great performer, he's a great artist, and I just kind of enjoy his musicality as a whole. So I was a little bummed that he didn't win for Romania, but I do enjoy variety. I do enjoy that they're sending somebody new. So I'm excited, one, that they're coming back just because it's been a while since we've seen them at the Eurovision Song Contest, and 2, it's nice to see that they're bringing something different, and it is a rock song. I know you like your rock songs. I know that there is a lot of polarizing opinions about this song, and it's quite the interesting timing that we're getting with a song like this, especially as I mentioned. If you follow other pop culture that's going on here on the other side of the pond, we've got drama happening in the world of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and The Bachelorette, where you have Taylor Frankie Paul, who is getting hardcore canceled right now as she is undergoing a lot of concern, is probably the best way to say it, just because
it's a nice way to put it. Yeah,
it's a nice way to put it, but she's number one, she's a messy individual, but her season of The Bachelorette is now officially canceled after
Dunzo.
After reports of DV have become more public, not just stemming from the recently released video footage that her baby daddy Dakota released and TMZ published of physical assault with one of her children present, but recent allegations of physical domestic violence toward baby daddy again, and others as recent as a couple of weeks ago at the time of this recording. So it's
a little messy
it's
here
very
in the United
messy.
States with pop culture.
Yeah. So that's the kind of trash that we experience over here, among other trash that's going on. So it's fitting that you have a song like Choke Me that is raising concern as well, when some people are interpreting it one way and you have statements from the artists that are trying to clarify what the song really means, but the lyrics also kind of imply that it could mean other things. So
and I think the key here, as you said, is interpretation. And what happened to the good old days when things were open to interpretation? It felt as though people are instantly looking for what is this song about? I need to know the answer. Where, I mean, even when I was a kid listening to music, you hear a song and as a kid you don't know what it's about, but the adults do. So like there it's different interpretations, and it just feels that there's no room for interpretation anymore. And
Right.
I think that's my biggest frustration with this song, because for me, even before the artist came out and said, this is her interpretation and this was what it's about, it was something different for me, because she says one of the lines is, all I need is your love. I want you to choke me. And my interpretation was like almost a smothering of, you know, I love you so much, I'm not going to let you do anything else, like almost kind of a controlling relationship. And so that was my interpretation. So then after it wins and this controversy comes out that it's glorifying sexual violence, I was like, whoa, where did you get that? Because I didn't get that at all.
Right. Furthermore, when you have a national song contest and you have juries that are part of this, they're looking at the lyrics closely. I think if they were that concerned, they would have potentially voted for another song.
One would think. Alexandra did issue a statement, and in part she says, it's a metaphor for the pressure we sometimes place on ourselves. It speaks about inner fears, self-doubt, and feeling of being emotionally suffocated by our own expectations. So for her, this song is in no way related to any sort of violence.
Right.
This was a song that I had actually heard before their song contest. I was on Reddit and people were talking about wanting more opera, and somebody had said that this is rock with a dash of opera. And I had, in my head, I'm like, okay, I like a dash of opera. I don't want a full-on opera song. Sorry, France. But I am looking for a dash of opera. So I found this song and I really liked it from the get-go. I at no point thought that this is glorifying any sort of violence. So I guess maybe my interpretation was different from other people. And I feel like there needs to be that understanding that, like, interpretation, how you interpret the song. So,
yeah, I think everybody is entitled to, think of it how they want to think of it. At the end of the day, I will, of course, listen to how Alexandra wants us to interpret it, because ultimately she is the one that wrote it, and
sure.
It's based off of her feelings and her self-expression. So if she's saying that this is what the messaging fully entails, okay, I'm going to be a little bit more understanding toward that perspective, but I also, can see both sides of how folks may perceive it a different way. Context matters.
Yes. So. And that's where we need to be open to the conversation, but I don't think that one side gets to have a louder voice.
Right.
Just because you disagree, we still need to have that conversation, and you're just not automatic.
For sure. We're in a heightened period of time in Eurovision Song Contest world, so I can understand why people ultimately will go towards the, black and white area and not necessarily the gray. But for now, we'll go with the consensual element of this song. And we'll just continue to stay on this side of the pond and watch Taylor Frankie Paul get silently canceled or loudly canceled.
Or loudly.
Yeah.
Well, as we think about the songs we want to talk about today, my first thought was, okay, maybe we talk about something a little less controversial next, but pretty much every country has something going on related to their actual selection with a controversy, except for maybe like Greece. So let's head there. Well, no,
yeah,
there might be one there too. So let's head to Greece. And their song selection for Sing for Greece was 100% public vote. So they put it entirely in the hands of the public, and you just hope they get it right.
Well, before we before we like concrete state that, there was an international jury. Like they did have that element. I watched that piece. Where they did have some international jury toward the tail beginning of point allocation. It wasn't much. Like the host provided points 1 through 10 from the international jury, and then I think there was like 1 or 2 countries that also allocated like their 12 points. I think it was like 1 or 2, not many. Then the rest of the public, it was predominantly public vote, because again, like the Hyatt, spoiler alert, Achilles won.
What?
I know.
Yeah, so just for clarification, the semifinals were 100% public.
There you go.
Finals were 50% public, 25% Greek jury, 25% international jury.
There it is. Okay.
There
we are.
To get to the finals in the first place, the public had the entire say. From there, it was split.
There we go.
When we look at the overall totals, Achilles had 48. The next closest, with Good Job Nikki, had 34 points. So to me, that's a definitive win.
Yes. And what I will say, because this was one that I did like a Cliff Notes version, and if you are a millennial, you know what I'm talking about, where I sped through just all of the like live final performances. I'm very intrigued at how he was the runner up, because
and not in a good way, right?
I need to go back and I need to listen to it as an audio, because there are a lot of octaves there that were interesting live. It's the best way that I can put it.
Okay.
That I'm like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is where if you listen to the songs that came in top 3, and top 3 only, I'm cutting it off there. If you listen to just those 3, yes, they absolutely chose the best song possible. Now, if we want to go outside the top 3, pour one out for Evangeline.
Hardcore, because her song is very good. I would say it is top 3 worthy. Is it stronger than her song last year? I don't think so, but it's still enjoyable.
Yes,
in my opinion.
100%. And I think this is where the controversy portion of this song contest comes in, is that there was some backlash that her song was not Greek enough. And as an outsider, I don't see it.
Right.
But when you're a little bit closer to the culture and a little bit, there.
Yes, inundated in
I guess
culture.
I can't necessarily argue like, no, you're wrong, because they're like, we live it. So there was that little bit of backlash, and so maybe that's why she ended up in 4th, because if there is the public vote, she was certainly not in there. I mean, she came in 1, 2, 3, 4th place, 5th place for the public. They did not like it.
Where does it specifically say the song has to be Greek culture? That's the part that is somewhat frustrating. That to me is just, they're stereotyping her, or they're typecasting her in a sense that just because she represented herself one way last year, she has to continue to do that the following year. And it's like, she can diversify herself and show a little bit of variety in her musical aesthetic.
Yeah, I guess I can see how when you are going to represent your country on a bigger national world stage, it is good to show something about your country. And so maybe that's where the public is saying, we want to showcase Greek culture. This is not Greek enough.
Right.
Now, is Ferto displaying Greek culture.
Well, it's just a great song. Like, let's just start there.
Okay.
I
Tell us more,
can't.
Steven. Tell us more
Okay.
about why this song is amazing.
For those who don't speak Greek, because obviously we do, Ferto is Greek for bring it or bring it to me. And so I just walk around the house now and I just say Ferto. And why it's a good, like, he's literally just kind of singing about, making it through rough times and what he hopes to do, like, once he gets famous. Like, real estate, bring it to me. Like, sashimi tuna, bring it to me. Like, all of those things. And then you get to, like, this one part of his song where he gets a little sentimental, where he's like singing directly to his mom, like, look, mom, I made it. Now we have this fame, we have this money. I'm going to, like, buy this house for you. And then he's like, like, of course, if I win Eurovision, but, like, whatever, like, what can you do? And then, like, just goes back to being, like, angelic fun and, like, free loving and all of these things. I'm like, I love it. It's just, like, it's fun. It gets you hyped. And then you have, like, that moment of just, like, sentimental, like, looking back, like, had a rough time, like, getting to this point, but look, we made it. And, like, now it's time to pay it forward. So that's why I like it.
Yeah. I think my biggest hold up or hang up here is that it is a song that has the same word sung repetitively. And I don't mind repetitive lyrics per se, but when it is the same word repetitively, I think that's where it starts to feel like nails on a chalkboard for me. And so hearing Ferto just over and over and over again, that's where it gets me.
Now, remind me what you said about Jella last week, because that's pretty repetitive.
And that it is very repetitive, but not in the same, like, grade on you sort of way. I don't know. I don't make the rules.
Yeah,
I
you
don't make the
make the
rules.
rules. No, that's okay.
The heart
Not
wants what the heart wants.
Exactly. At the end of the day ends.
I will say, for me, open interpretation, I did not get that he is out there doing this for his family and for his mother. I got a little bit more Tommy Cash vibes from the song, where he's just like, I don't care about y'all, I'm here for the fame, whatevs. So again, that's my interpretation of it. I know people love it. I know it's going to do well. And based on his personality alone, I'm okay with it. It's kind of like last year with JJ. Wasn't for me, but JJ seems like an amazing guy, and I'm not going to knock that. It's just maybe the song isn't my favorite. And I know that's going to be super controversial. I see him in the top 5 for just about everybody.
And now here we are on our way to Vienna. And if you happen to run into him,
again, nice guy.
You're gonna fangirl so hardcore.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah. Whereas I'm gonna be like, I just want to squish your. Yeah. Anyways, what's the next country that we should talk about?
Let's go to Moldova. Why not? Moldova is back.
We're not.
See you guys.
We're not sipping again. We're not sipping pink margaritas, unfortunately.
Ooh, too soon. Oh no. I mean, you do have to be able to sing in the song contest. That is preferred.
In a past episode, we did talk about that very briefly, only because we were surprised and, like, taken aback. But as the weeks have progressed, I will say that I am a bit more on board with Viva Moldova, but I think it's partially because there was a revamp that came out.
Yes, and let's just go straight to the revamp, because pre-revamp, I wasn't about it, like, at all. You could not get me to like this song.
Mm-hmm.
With the revamp, I have a new appreciation for it. And when they revamped, it's been described as a, quote, more polished with a greater emphasis on driving high energy production. And I'm feeling it. and I'm
Yeah.
feeling that. They also, most noticeable change for me at least, was at the beginning in their national final, they had kind of a female voice doing, sort of a riff for, 10 seconds or whatever it was.
Right.
And they substituted that for new lyrics. And the lyrics now translate to somewhere between dust and stars, we are lost crying out to them. And that is them trying to give this feeling of home. And I think they did that with these lyrics. Now, the question becomes, are these extra, 3 lines enough? I don't know. But it's, at least for me, it's enough with the high energy production to start taking another look at.
Mhm. Again, when they won their national song contest, I was like, not a big fan of this one, but I was also equally disappointed that Pink Margarita did not rise to the occasion, only because I was like watching it in real time, like, oh my God, girlfriend can't sing live. And so it's like she just left the door wide open for anybody to win. Now that we've let it sort of marinate for a little while, now that the revamp has come out, I'm like, you know what? Like, this is actually a pretty good song. So I think they've given themselves an opportunity here to do well in their semifinal. So we'll see what happens.
Right. And I guess shout out to anybody who was sort of a Moldova day one for this song, because
They saw the talent.
They saw the talent, but they also saw the perfect score.
Yeah.
When you look at how their selection went down, it was an even split between international jury, a Moldovan jury, and the public. And they scored perfect across, 12s across the board for this song. So it has always been recognized as a good song for Moldova. I think we are finally getting on board with it. And I do credit the revamp for that. Another part of the revamp included bringing in vocals from the 2013 Eurovision artist Leona Moon, and then also bringing in the violin from Moldova 2022. So Vasil Adbahov, butchered that, I'm sure.
It's okay.
So, they're bringing in that sort of sense of home, nostalgia, like they're doing all the things to really get that traction for this song.
Right. This is another one where I was able to catch like bits and pieces of the Moldova National Song Contest. What I loved was their opening, where they had past Moldova acts that went to Eurovision. So of course we got to see our lovely Squirtle saxophone player, if you know, you know, where they did not one but two of their songs because they were returning art performers for Eurovision.
As an outsider, that is Moldova's claim to fame.
That
right?
is kind of Moldova's claim to fame. We also got to see 2021's performer come back and sing her song Sugar, which is a guilty pleasure of mine. She is widely known for being one of Eurovision history's longest holding notes there toward the tail end. I still don't recall off the top of my head if she still has that title or if it's been broken. We saw 2024's Eurovision act come back, but she didn't actually like sing that or perform that song. She performed a prior year's song because she was also a returner. So she chose not to do that one.
She didn't actually sing her own song. Okay.
No, she was a representative in a year prior.
Oh.
Many years before. And so instead of doing her 2024 song, she did her
that makes sense.
Her prior Eurovision stint. She chose wisely. So yeah, no, it was great to see a lot of past performers and representatives from Moldova like start out as like the openers for their song contest. So.
And as we think about getting this song Viva Moldova on the Eurovision stage, I'm thinking back to when we went to Malmö in 2024 and how Estonia and their song, and just it was like, meh, I'm not really feeling it. But then they got up and they started performing, and you saw how the crowd loved it, and just their energy, the crowd's energy. Even if you didn't like it, then you got hyped. And
Yes.
that is what I want to see from Viva Moldova. And I think that they have that potential to really make me pay attention and go, you weren't really on my radar, but this is so much fun. How can I not?
Yeah. You know who I'm not hyped yet, and I don't know if I will be?
Spill the tea.
San Marino. Like,
Oh.
where do we even begin?
Okay, so let's just talk about their selection process and how much of a sham it kind of is. And yes, I said what I said, because it was 100% jury. No outsiders were involved in the making of this selection. So they did 2 semifinals, where in each semifinal you had 20 songs, and then the jury selected 5 to go on to the finals. So after the semifinals, 10 songs got to join 10 other songs that were already pre-selected and like greenlit to the finals.
Right.
So I guess to me that didn't make a whole lot of sense, because the same jury that is selecting the songs in the semifinals already pre-selected songs to go to the finals. So really, you already knew what was out there, and we're pretending that these 10 are joining the already pre-selected 10. And then we're going to do the finals, which is also all the jury.
Yeah. Like,
so why are we pretending?
Yeah, first of all, and it's just like, why are they making this so confusing? Like, just
if you knew exactly what you wanted from the get-go, just do an internal selection and tell us who the song is, because don't waste my time. Don't string me along. I will say that the moment they announced the lineup of the 10 songs automatically advancing, I knew who the winner was going to be.
Right.
I think I even texted you. I was like, this is what's going to happen. So, spoilers.
Senate
featuring, and I'm putting that in huge quotes, featuring Boy George is the winner. But why put us through the song and dance? We knew that was going to be the outcome, because one, she's represented San Marino. She's been selected. This is her 4th time being selected. Of course, 2020 being canceled. But then San Marino also seems to love a big name that people potentially know. And I say potentially because if you're younger demographic, do you even know who Boy George is?
I mean, we know who Boy George is. So
I barely know who Boy George is. I just want to be clear.
Girl, bye.
I couldn't name a single Boy George song.
Girl, bye. Anyways, the crash out is real. That's happening over in Boy George's side too, by the way. Because
well, I think we all said why. And Boy George was like, do you know who I am? And we went, no. And now he's crashing out.
We did not. A lot of people in like the Twitterverse, X, formerly known as Twitter, have said otherwise. But anyways, I want to start by saying I have appreciated past songs that Senate has put out before. I am not fully on board with Superstar right now. This needs a revamp. It needs a revamp real bad.
It needs something.
It needs something real bad. I'm just like, how did we go from Tutta Italia to this? It baffles my mind. I'm very sad because like Mariana was a really good song that unfortunately didn't even get past their semifinal.
Which is,
And
again, how you know it's rigged.
yeah, there's some, like, let's get our tinfoil hats on hardcore. I found it kind of cute, and it's not a, no, we're not going to say that. It was an interesting song. But if anybody is familiar with Star Guy, who is Emmy's brother that was on stage with her last year as Ireland's representative, he was also a semifinalist and had a song in the
Right.
semifinal.
And let's
that would have been cute too.
let's give San Marino the 1% props they deserve, in that because they are such a small country, they say, if you'd like to participate, come on over. So you have folks from Netherlands and Ireland and all these other countries who are now performing for San Marino, trying to get to represent them. So
Right.
they, at least shout out to them for allowing folks to participate. But why let them participate if you already know that they don't have a chance? And you cannot convince me that the jury was open-minded and she had the best performance of the night. No.
Boy George wasn't even there physically.
An illustrated version of him singing his 2 lines was there.
Yes.
Does that count?
Statements have since come out saying that he will be there at Eurovision in May. So
the San Marino stands are out in full force, reminding you
that
he has promised to be there, and she's flying to Vegas to have a conversation with him, and he's promised that he's going to be there, but he's on tour right now.
All these things, and it's like, yeah, no, like, that's part of the rules. Like, if you're in the song, you have to be on stage. You have to be there. You have to sing it live. But also, like, he's literally there for, like, the last 20 seconds of the song.
I think 20 seconds is generous.
I'm just saying. And this song needs a revamp, and that's all I can say. Like, make it worth the people's time and make it worth the vote.
You know, the Eurovision community doesn't seem to agree on a lot of things. I'd like to think that a vast majority can agree on where this is probably going to end up.
Yeah.
And with that said, let's head to another country. So maybe we head to Portugal, because that one is also an interesting tale. For those who have been following the Eurovision news, there were a number of artists who came out and said, even if I win for Portugal, I will not go and represent at Eurovision due to a certain country's participation. So out of the 16 who participated, only 2 had definitively said that they would go to Eurovision if they won.
From Portugal.
And so by that logic, you could come in second to last and still go to Eurovision. Like, that's just how the math was going to math at that point.
Yeah.
So it felt, even going into the contest, like, guys, what are we doing?
Yeah. It definitely almost seemed like the juries and public knew that, based off of all of the artists that publicly stated they did not intend to go to Eurovision based off of that decision, that they knew where they needed their points to go.
Yes, it very much felt like they knew the assignment, and in order to make this legit and feel legit, that we're going to throw all our points in one direction. And so Bandidos do Cante, with their song Rosa, was selected, and they had agreed to go to Eurovision, and so they're headed there.
I don't dislike the song. I actually find the song to be beautiful. They harmonize very well. And I don't overly have like complaints. I think we're gonna have another like NEPA experience with Portugal this year where we don't think that they are gonna qualify, but yet they do qualify, and that's legitimately all I'm gonna say about it, because for some reason, like this last year, it made no sense to us. This is our We Don't Understand European Music segment of the week, folks. So for me, I am just going to blanket statement that it's a beautiful song, and it would not surprise me if it did qualify just based off of some of those factors where it's just like Portugal's going to do what Portugal's going to do. And somehow it's going to find its way into the grand final. I haven't really been able to get behind Portugal since Yolanda. Yolanda's song was amazing. And like, that was 2024. And I know that was only 2 years ago, but like, that was one of the last times that I truly enjoyed Portugal's entry. So
this is the thing, is we can't sleep on Portugal because they will shock us just like last year if we're not careful.
Exactly.
Now, that being said, the Eurovision bubble community is not about this. It's got 2.6 stars out of 5 with nearly 8,000 votes on Eurovision World. If you look at the scoreboard app, they're currently sitting in 32nd place. So if the community had anything to say, we know the answer.
But see, that was NEPA last year, and then what happened?
I do.
And
you also have the juries back in the semifinals, and that's congratulations, Portugal. We don't get it, but we'll see you in the finals.
Yeah, like
bold prediction.
We were like, we don't get it, and then what happens? The Portuguese fandom shitted all over us, and it was just like, what is happening?
That you're not lying.
Yeah.
So all right, well, we've got 2 more countries we want to talk about today, so let's just get right into those. Another country that the song is sort of beautiful but maybe a little bit boring is Italy. Sorry, San Remo. First of all, before we get to the actual song, we need to talk about the contest and how just like there's dragging the contest out like
Malta,
Sweden style. And then there's Italy. They had not 1, not 2, but 4 nights that were 5 hours long.
My God.
Their contest didn't end until 1:30 a.m. Now, I get that they have late dinners. I've
experienced those Italian late dinners, yes.
But do you need to be going until 1:30 in the morning for your song contest 4 different nights? That being said, so night 1, you have all 30 acts and they sing their song. Then nights 2 and 3, they split. So 15 people are performing in night 2, 15 people are performing in night 3, and then we're doing this all over again in night 4 with all 30 songs again. I'll be honest with you, I was very confused. I was trying to read the rules. So if somebody followed San Remo and can tell me like what the point of all 4 nights is, please down in the comments, because I don't get it.
Educate a couple of gay guys, because we don't know. We're just a couple of gay guys from across the pond.
Even the actual voting, there was like percentages and televotes, and when all was said and done, you have Percent BC with Sal Da Vinci going to represent. So congratulations, he's the winner.
I mean, I know that you are not a fan of it. I know that it's one of those like love stories that is more like a song that you play at a wedding, and that's exactly what his music video is like portraying as well. I enjoy it. I think it's cute. I do think that
yes,
it's
cute.
It's cute. I think it's adorable. Maybe it's just because I'm comparing it to last year's entry, who, mind you, was the runner-up because the actual winner decided not to go. But somehow they also liked it last year. Like Eurovision really loved him last year.
Tinfoil hats on. Italy's gonna Italy, and regardless of quality, the popularity is going to be there, and the diaspora is going to vote for it.
Yeah.
And I hope, okay, so that being said, I do hope that the diaspora will support him in this, because once the song came out, there was a good bit of backlash within Italy against this song. You know, you said it's a wedding song, and I know you said that not in a negative way,
Right.
but in Italy, people were making that as a dig against the song. Like, it's nothing more than a wedding song, and they said that dismissing.
And I'm just like, well, then why'd you vote for it? Like, hi.
And
Hello.
so there were allegations. They're unfounded allegations with zero evidence, but there were allegations that people were using SIM cards to vote for him. People who are in the Neapolitan,
Neapolitan.
sure. So
Okay.
there's the southern region of Italy, and people were saying that there were allegations of improper voting. Again, completely unfounded, like, calm down. But then there was a lot of hate thrown his way that, you know, you put distinct romantic dialect into it, you're nothing more than a wedding song, you're dated. And I hate when people just like, I hate when people hate. It's one thing to say the song is not for me. It is another thing to like blast the artist and just rip on them.
Shit all over them.
So I don't like this song, not because it's a terrible song. It's just not for me. So I think that's the biggest difference. But
right.
We need to recognize the quality of his voice and what he is bringing. And I do hope that he does well. Is it in my top 10? No.
Well, for our followers and for our listeners, I will be sure to capture video of Doug shaking his ass to this song at the concerts. So,
well, and I think that there is more love for this song outside of Italy than within.
Fair. Well,
that's the sense I get.
They can't vote for their own country, so
boom.
There you have it.
Maybe it is a wedding song. Maybe it is a bit too romantic, but he doesn't deserve the hate coming his way. And also, if I had to choose this or Portugal, I'm choosing this.
Well, you know who I'm going to choose this last country, and that's Bulgaria.
That's a good selection.
And explain how we got to
okay.
The song.
Bulgaria, they started with 15 artists, and in the first night they sang a previous released song. So this wasn't like, we had no idea what their Eurovision song was going to be. They just sang a song, and people voted. I guess you're voting based on the individual and their voice quality, what they were bringing to the table, maybe like understanding that genres and styles would be the same eventually. But okay, so they have 15 people sang a song, and 8 artists were selected to move on to the next round. Then they sang another previously released song of theirs. So again, not their actual Eurovision song. You're voting on a wing and a prayer and a vibe. So between the jury vote and the public vote, which was heavily sided to the jury, a winner was selected, and that was Dara. But we don't have
still don't have a song.
We still don't have a song for Eurovision. And so she was given a month and a team of writers and said, go write us a winning song.
And she's like, okay.
And so you have her present 3 songs to the community, or to Bulgaria, saying, these are the 3 songs that could go represent us at Eurovision. You pick. Now, both the jury and the public agreed that Bangaranga was that winner.
Bangaranga. Yep.
Sure and did. So, but I just can't wrap my brain around the idea of pick the person and then we'll have a month to write some songs.
They are unique in that aspect. Like, it's definitely not what other countries do or have
Imagine
done.
The pressure of saying, you have 1 month, go write a winning song.
There are people that can bust shit out in like 30 minutes. Like,
Right. Okay, but I think there's a difference between, you know, we were sitting in the studio and then we came up with this idea and now it's going to be amazing versus you have the pressure. You have 1 month, ready, go.
well, and who's to say that like she already didn't have some of these lined up and now it's just about finessing some of that too. Like
Possibly.
there's possibilities that there's a little bit of that where it's like, oh, we can do something with this. Like, let's work with it. Maybe it's that. I don't know. To me, and I think she also came out and said that Bangaranga means nothing. Like there's really like no meaning behind that word. It's literally just like a word.
So actually to your point, she tried to give it meaning. So there's a clip of her where she says it can be the weather, it can be a hot girl, it can be a new car. It's special energy everybody has in themselves that you can unlock only by letting go.
Okay.
What is that? Okay, what does that even mean? Because I'm not sure how the weather and a new car are energy that I'm unlocking.
Uh-huh.
To our audience, listening, watching, if English is not your primary language, I do want to just let you know that Bangaranga is not a word.
Okay. This is a horrible correlation, but so it makes me think of the 2014 sort of viral moment with I think it was Jessie Nelson from the British girl band Little Mix when she made Ballet Day a thing. And if you don't know what I'm talking about,
No idea.
okay.
I do hope that folks listening and that one person who really gets this is going to comment.
Yeah, no, the Ballet Day meme. Like Bangaranga means the Ballet Day meme. Like that's what it is like I can't separate the two, and at the same time that's why I love it so much, is because like what does it mean? It means like she's trying to give it meaning, and just like when like Little Mix tried to give it meaning where it's like it's that filler word where it can like mean nothing but something at the same time, it's that. And I'm just like
But also, this is the song we get when you are stuck in a studio for a month and pressured to write a winning song.
Yeah. So
I know people love it.
I'm one of them.
Every time I listen to this song, I like it a little less. When I first heard it, I was like, yeah, it's fun, it's catchy, let's do it. Every time, a little less, a little less. So my new plan is do not listen to it again until we get to Eurovision.
And you're at the Euro Club.
Then I might be on board with it. But it's a little nails on a chalkboard for me. It's a little. If we want to talk about repetitive lyrics, not only are you giving me a repetitive lyric, but it means absolutely nothing.
We have just gone through 7 countries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have just gone through 7 countries that did their national song contests and have crowned their winners. They got there. They've made their choices, whether we agree with them or disagree with them. They're heading to Vienna. We're going with them. Love them or hate them. We're interested to know what our listeners and our followers think. So if you are catching this on YouTube or on Spotify, drop those comments down below and let us know your thoughts. Next week, we are going to pick up the remaining national song contests that we did not touch yet. So we're going to close all of that out. So if you are still with us, we thank you so much for catching this week's episode. If you are not a follower yet, if you've not yet subscribed, by all means, feel free to hit that subscribe button here on YouTube or on Spotify. We appreciate those follows. We appreciate those subscriptions. They mean a lot to us. We're still small growing and we're still working our way up that journey. So it's much appreciated. You can also catch additional content that we throw out there on our socials. You can catch us at Eurovision Kiki on Instagram or on TikTok. But I think that'll do it for this week. So we will see you all at our next Kiki.
Bye.
Bye.